Yes, we are live once again on the clinic with Oluwatosin Oladimeji Ladipo. And I want to believe everyone at home, I'm sure you are all fine, you are well. And like I've always asked you, that hope you have not stopped keeping safe. Welcome once again. I guess like 4 weeks ago, we started a series on the girl child. That is what we've been discussing for the past 1 month. We've been discussing things about the girl child. Now today is Father's Day celebration. I'm so glad because I grew up in the midst of the boys, and I'm so glad to associate myself with boys. Yes, because they're always lovely people, wonderful people. No, sometimes they could be very naughty, that at least it's good you have them all around you. And I want to say happy Father's Day to all the fathers all over the world and all the people that are even depending on God for their own children. It's still Father's Day. Just celebrate. Celebrate anyhow you want to celebrate it. It's Father's Day. And we are all rejoicing with the fathers. And on the clinic, we are going to uniquely celebrate fathers today, just exactly as we did for the mothers, because a lot of fathers have called me. So what are you going to do for Father's Day celebration? What are you going to do? Hope you're not going to be partial. I'm not a partial person. I love fathers. I love the male too. I'm not a partial person. And I'm going to celebrate everyone equally. Everyone. I'm going to celebrate all of us. But before we go into the program properly, I would like to introduce my guests, because we are not talking today. I am not talking. I'm not even saying anything. It's just to introduce my guests, and we're going to celebrate them. We have 3 fathers that we want to celebrate. We are celebrating all the fathers, but specifically we invited 3 fathers that we want to celebrate for the good things they've been doing in the society, which is very, very evident. People can see it. It's so obvious to the world, to the community, everywhere in the world. People can attest to it that these people are doing well. That is the reason why we have invited them to uniquely celebrate them today. That you will not ask me, what are the ladies doing on the line? What are they doing when we are celebrating fathers? Yes, I'm going to tell you. They want to tell us their own opinions about fathers. Our fathers, they have fathers too. At least the father gave birth to them. They have their own fathers too. What is their own view about Father's Day? Is this something that should be celebrated? Let's hear from them. I'm not going to answer. Faith is married. She's a mother of 3 children. Temidire, she's not married. She's just a student, a diploma student of University of Lagos. I'm so sure of that. Not Lagos State University, because most of the time I mix it together. But this time around is Lagos State University, UNILAG. She is a diploma student. Now, please, wherever our viewers are, help me to welcome first on my list, Oluwa. Oh, he's not Oluwato, so he's Temidire. Yes, her name is Temidire Alayaki, yes, a diploma student of University of Lagos. Temidire, how are you today?
I'm fine, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am.
Good to have you around. Hope you are fine too.
Yes, ma'am, fine, ma'am.
Is there something you would like to tell us more about yourself?
Temidire is smart, friendly, jovial, and she's ready for any questions, and she's ready to celebrate fathers today.
I love that. She's ready for any question. That's because she's ready to celebrate our father. One thing about Temidire, there was one time we had a Valentine's program on this show, and everything she was just telling us was all about our father. And that was the reason why we decided to bring Temidire on board today. Temidire, before your question, let me bring in our next guest in person of Mrs. Faith Okoli. Mrs. Faith Okoli is a mother. She's a banker and health practitioner, and she lives in Winnipeg, all the way from Canada. Mrs. Faith Okoli, how are you today?
I'm fine, thank you. It will be good morning to some people, good afternoon to some people, and good evening to some people.
All right.
It's a pleasure being here. Thank you for the invite.
Is there anything else you'd like to tell us about yourself that you want us to know?
Okay, so you had rightly mentioned that I'm a wife. And
Okay.
I'm a mother of three teenagers, and it's been great having to be blessed with my husband and my kids. And yes, I love to give to my community. I'm passionate about ensuring that people live the fullness of the call of God upon their lives. And having said that, I give my best to help everyone that I come in contact with to live a life of purpose.
All right. Thank you so much, Oli. Thank you so much. Is there anything? Oh, I think you need to unmute yourself. Is that Temidire? Is it
No,
from you?
ma.
Okay,
No,
because
ma.
I can get a feedback from here. All right, I guess it's good now. It's good. It's good now. Now, our first question to Temidire. Temidire, what's your own view about Father's Day?
My view about Father's Day is a day that we celebrate and appreciate our fathers. It's a day for us to show our fathers that we know their impact in the family and we appreciate everything they are doing for us. Because some fathers don't even know that there is Father's Day. But we have to remind them and celebrate them. It's a day for us to appreciate everything they have been doing for us in the family. That's my
But does it really want the celebration if the so-called people that you're supposed to celebrate, the so-called people you're celebrating, does not even know that is their own day? Do you understand? They do not know that is their own day. So must we celebrate them?
Yes, we should celebrate them. We should celebrate
Okay.
them. Even if we don't remind them and tell them that today is Father's Day and we celebrate them and appreciate them for everything they have been doing
All right.
for
Thank you
us.
so much. Thank you so much,
Yes.
Temidire. Now let's hear from Mrs. Okoli Faith. What is your own view about the Father's Day celebration?
For me, Father's Day is every day, just like we know Mother's Day to be an everyday event. The reason being that you don't doff your cap, for a period of time to say that you're on break, right? So the essence of celebrating fathers, on a special day like this is to acknowledge their efforts as a head of the home, as a father to their children, as a spiritual guide to their family and the people that God has placed round about them. And so there's nothing too much, to just set out a day apart, within a year to just say, we just want to shower you with a love, with attention, and all the goodies that is deserving of a father, of a dad who had been there through thick and thin for his families and the people that God has placed around them.
Oh, that's a very good one, Mrs. Okoli. I appreciate your candid opinion about that. Now, our next question, any one of you can answer it really. Let me throw it first to Temidire. What are the qualities that you have seen in your dad that you feel that, oh, this is worthy of emulation? What are the qualities that you think anybody should emulate? Faith, you can go. I guess.
Okay. Yes, I think our internet is frozen. So, looking back at my childhood, I want to safely say that I had a fantastic childhood. I had a great father, blessed memory, who was there for his children, who gave all in his power to ensure that his children are good, they're okay, they're well taken care of, their needs are being met. And if need be, he will admonish us, he would scold us, and set us in the right path so that we don't lose sight of who he wants us to become and who God had created us to be. So for me, those traits are the traits that I adored about my father, because he was there for us. I mean, he could go the extra mile to ensure that we were happy. We had what we wanted to have, or what is expected that we should have at the time, even when it was not convenient for him. So those are the traits that I see, and I knew that I couldn't trade anything less than what I had enjoyed from having been there round about my dad, and learning a lot of things, you know. So for fathers, I see in my husband, I'll use my husband also as a point of contact. I see my husband always striving to give his family the best attention he could get, or we could get rather. He strives to ensure that he's available to hear us, to meet the needs of his wife and his children, and you know just be the pillar, because for a home without a father figure, it takes a lot to be able to nurture those children to walk in the right path, because those are the people that the children look up to be their role model, to emulate, and to want to see, if it's a girl child, to want to see a man in a man like their father in any relationships or any interactions they have with another opposite sex. So that's how I'll put it, like that.
Thank you so much, Holly. Thank you so much. Now to Temidire, what are the qualities that you have seen in your father that you think, because I remember the last time I said that we had a program with you on Valentine's Day. We are talking about teenagers here on Valentine, and everything about you was my dad, my dad, my dad, my dad. We're like, oh. So what are the qualities that you've seen in your dad that you think that was making you to really talk about your dad? You really want to showcase him. What are the things?
Well, my dad has many qualities.
Okay.
But like, my dad has many qualities. For example, my daddy is kind. Yeah, my daddy does not give up. No matter what he says to do, he makes sure he gets it. And my dad is smart. And the most important quality I got from him was the one that he doesn't give up. My daddy doesn't give up. If he wants to start a project or anything, even if he fails, he keeps on going over and over again, keeps on doing it. And that's the thing I like about him more. He doesn't give up on anything. Keeps on going and trying to do everything to achieve his aim. That's the quality I took from him, and that's the quality I love most about him.
That's a very good one. I guess our network is so bad. That's a very good one. Mrs. Okoli, is your husband there? Because you said a lot of things about your husband. A lot of things about him. Is he there?
No, he's not near me at the moment.
You would have liked to really see him and celebrate him and appreciate him for everything he's doing. Before I come back to both of you, please let me bring in our celebrant. He's a celebrant because he is the man that we want to celebrate. Let me bring him on. We have some questions for him, so really, let me bring him on now in person of Mr. Praise for Way. Yes, hold on, please. Yes, how are you today?
I'm fine. Thank you, Tosin, for the invitation.
It's nice having you, and it's a privilege. Honor, we thank you for the honor. Thank you so much. We said because we want to celebrate you. We've seen a lot of things you've been doing, which are so evident in the society. Everybody has been talking about it. Anywhere you look at, praise for where, praise for where. Praise away, praise away. We are even singing a song. Praise away. So what is actually your inspiration behind all the things you've been doing? We want to know that your inspiration.
Well, there are problems in the society, and there are two approaches you can take. You can either run commentary about the problem and talk about it. It makes you feel good, but it never solves the problem. or you can take responsibilities for the problem and decide to solve the problem one problem at a time. So for me, I feel, I mean, because I've worked in the family life space and I've studied the family life, and I've concluded that the most important nation that exists is not the United States of America, it's the family. I believe the family is the production factor of the society. So I believe that there is no leader we complain about, especially in the developing country space, that never came out from a family. So if there's a leader traumatizing the family, I mean, traumatizing the nation, the question we should be asking is, was he a traumatized child from his family? And because, I mean, it takes someone with pain to give out pain to other people. You know, so I started taking responsibilities, starting with commercial sex workers, trying rehabilitating. Along the line, I began to see that I worked with over 300 of them, saw that almost all of them were victims of child sexual abuse. As I was solving that problem, I noticed parenting problem, noticed family marital problem. And for every problem I saw in the family life space, I went into research and created solutions. So I believe that, yeah, we may not be able to save the entire world, but can we save one family at a time? And so I do not believe that one man cannot make a difference. All you just need to do is touch the next one man. And you don't have to have all the money to save the entire world. You don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started to be great. So it's only the first step that leads to the second step. And that was why I started to say, okay, let me solve the problem in Ajegunle, which was where I started from. And by solving the problem, I realized that more people began to demand for the solution. And, you know, that was how we started taking community by community, state by state, some nations now, some organizations and all, to say that we don't always have to depend on what the whites can give to Africa, because it's almost like we're a begging bowl. I mean, I saw many people in the developmental space, they talk more about the donation they can get than the problems they can create, you know. So, and I believe that nobody will understand African problem more than African. And if the problem was created by Africans, the solution has to be from Africa. And so that was what inspired me to begin to do something about every problem I saw. So that's how we got it.
Can you imagine that? Once there is a problem, there should always be a solution. You don't necessarily have to have the whole world, all the money in the whole world for you to solve a problem. That's a very good one, Mr. Praiseful. I will be right back with you. Let me bring in Temidire now to ask her another question. Just hold on. Temidire.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
thank you. You've said a lot of things about your dad. Is your dad actually there?
Yes, my dad is here.
Please, we would like to see your dad.
Okay, Daddy.
We would like to see your dad. It's not a formal day today. We want to celebrate fathers, because the way you really spoke about your dad that day, people told me to bring you back. They really want to know who this dad is.
Yes, this is my dad.
Hello.
Mr. Alayaki.
Oh, Mr. Alayaki. Okay, we can see you now. Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
It's nice having you on our program.
Good to be on the show.
Thank you so much. It's nice having you on our program. Temidire has said so much about you. Let's start with this. There was one time we had a program on Valentine's Day, and we brought in Temidire, and Temidire said a lot of things about you. My dad. And a lot of people now requested that we should bring Temidire back for Father's Day celebration with her dad. And we thank God we are having you today. So what are the things behind your inspiration that is making you to do everything you're doing? Because we have a lot of fathers who are highly irresponsible. We have a lot of them. So what are your own inspiration for you to be the best of fathers? What are your inspiration? We really want to know.
Oh, well, first off, I'm glad to be on the show, and my regard and respect to everyone out there on the show. Sincerely, I think it's just natural. There's no inspiration. I was raised with love for my father. I remember during the days I was growing up, my father never comes home. Every weekend he comes home. You know, there used to be Levantes, and I can't remember those stores then. He comes home every weekend with all those gigantic meat pies. And then I can almost say that I want to pass this on to my children. So it's just passion got passion for children and I love my children. I don't want them to go astray. So if God gives me the opportunity, I should show them as much love that I got from my father and mom. So that is just it. My children, and I pray that every other children shouldn't lack once they have a father. So that has been what spurred me to like being close and passionate about raising my kids the best way that I know how to. As in holding them close to me and close to my heart, and trying to make them feel that they are always special and important. That's just about it. It's just natural. Nothing really special.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Layaki. Thank you so much. We didn't intend to take much of your time. But what advice would you like to give to fathers outside there? What advice would you like to give to them just to celebrate this Father's Day celebration?
Fathers, well, I don't know. Children are the precious gift from God. First off, you don't have to bring children when you are not ready to care for them. Once you have children, you have a responsibility. And as a man, you need to stand up for your responsibility. I don't see reasons you being a father and you can't be there for your children. So my advice is be a father to your child at every point in time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Layaki. It's nice having you on our show this evening. Thank you so much. Thank you. We appreciate you. Now, Temidire back. You can excuse your dad. Thank you so much. Now, Mrs. Okoli, we want to bring you in now. Mrs. Okoli.
I'm with you.
What advice would you like to give to fathers out there? What advice do you think you should give to them? We would have loved to see your husband, because you've said so much about your husband too, and you said a lot about your dad, blessed memory. I guess I met your dad before he died, really. But I know him to be a very good father, and that was the reason why I guess we brought you in today, because of the things your dad was really doing then. So what advice do you think you should give to fathers out there?
For me, to fathers, honestly, is first to look up to God, who gives wisdom, to be able to chart the path that, is expected of you, because God is a good God and He's a good Father. And if you're able to look to Him, He will walk you through on how to best channel the grace that He's able to release upon you as a father, to be able to work the path of being a father to your children, and beyond your children also to the people round about you. I keep saying that, reason being that a man is not just made for his family alone. He's made to be a support, a model to both his immediate family and his extended family, and even friends and people that he come in contact with. So I want to appeal to the conscience of the fathers out there. Learn to seek God's help, because parenting is not easy. I must say, either as a father or as a mother. So learning to understand where your strength lies, and being able to harness help when there's a need for help, so you can be a better person, a better role model to your children, is very imperative. Now, sometimes there's a tendency that men will overlook some things, reason being that they just assume that because they are able to provide for their family, and as such will not want to bother on any additional benefits that they should be given to their family. And I say this because beyond provision, there's a need for relationship. So find time to have a relationship with your family. Your family includes your wife and your children. So identify those areas where you know that you have been lagging behind. Make that relationship a strong one by bringing your family together. If it's once every week, you come together as a family, spend time together, have a share moment where everyone will bring to the table what he or she is happy about, what he or she is not happy about, and together prefer solutions on how to further engage your family as one. I would also want to appeal to the hearts of fathers out there, not to be quick to judge. Sometimes when you see your child's behavior not falling in line with the expectations that you had set for the child, um, don't be quick to judge. Look inward, because there must be a reason behind whatever attitude or behavior that a child presents at a particular time. So once you're able to look at the possibilities of engaging that child, to know why that child is where he or she is at, it goes a long way. It goes a long way. That's why I'm persisting that a relationship with your family is very key. Be very attentive. Be very attentive, because when you are attentive, you are quick to see something that isn't right, and by the help of God and the wisdom that He alone gives, you're quick to nip it in the bud before it goes out of control. And lastly, I want to say that as fathers, you're your children's role model. You're the people around you's role model. They're looking up to you. So always be willing to check yourself. Identify those things that you know will pose as a negative impact, and shed it off. Shed it off as quickly as you can, because whatever you're doing, you're being watched. If you're a father that loves to scream, I mean, your kids are watching you. They just feel that is the way to life, because I mean that's what is presented before them on a day-to-day basis. Show love. Show love.
Hmm.
Show love. Love conquers all. If you are able to constantly express your love, and your love is beyond gifts. Is you're showing love by listening, by being there, by being attentive. So once you have all those things, running in your home with the help of God, honestly, you will not go wrong. You will not go wrong. Just
Thank you.
keep trusting that you will be the best that you can ever be for your children and for the
Thank you.
society at large.
All right. Thank you so much, Faith. I really appreciate you so much. Thank you for that candid advice. Thank you so much. Now, let me bring in Mr. Praise for Wowe for his advice for parents. We like to hear from him too. So let me quickly bring him on. Mr. Praise for Wowe, please, what advice
Yeah.
would you like to give to fathers? What advice? Because we've seen a lot of, like Temidire said before when we started, that there are a lot of fathers who do not even know. Maybe some of them really don't know their responsibilities. But not, some of them feel that they are not even meant to be celebrated. So what advice do you think you can give to fathers?
I think that every father needs to, of course, understand the meaning of fatherhood. Fatherhood is not a title; it's a role. The role as a job, the role description. Father is the word ab. Ab means source. But the question is, what kind of source are you? Are you a source of inspiration, a source of leverage, a source of joy, or a source of pain, a source of distraction, it's a source of bad modeling to your children? Because when you are squeezed, eventually who you are is what shows up. So the concept of fatherhood demands that we take care of ourselves, and we become role models to our children, not just do as I say, but do as I do. So we need to take care of ourselves and ensure that we're okay within us. So I'm going to encourage every father. I know that times are very harsh for many of you. I want you to know that you're not alone. Find the right support system and be vulnerable. I mean, many of us were raised to think that we're Superman and we can fix every problem. And many of me men are dying early. You need to be able to open up and share what you're going through. Your family needs to know your struggles. The people around you need to know your struggles, and that's where you can get help. But I want to say that you guys are doing well. For some of you who have just been sperm donors, it's time to go back and provide inspiration, provide nourishment for your children, and be there for your wives as well. I believe that if you do some of these things, your children are going to want to be like you sometime soon. And the crisis on ground in our world require not just for you to parent your own children alone, you also need to be a father to many other children out there whose fathers have not done a good job, because nobody becomes saved until everyone is saved. If we provide inspiration for those other people, then we can even have rest in our whole day. That's my advice.
Thank you so much, Mr. Presowe. But before you go, I would like to ask you this, because all of us on this, Faith is a woman. Temidire, definitely she's a girl. One day she's going to become a woman. I'm also a woman, and there are lots of women outside there today. But today is actually Father's Day celebration. Thank God we brought you in as the man. So we want to ask you, and the reason why we brought you in is because of the things you've been doing in the community, which we've said earlier on. Now, my question to you now is that what advice can you give to us, we women, what we can do to really help our husbands for them to be the best? Because like you said, some of them are struggling. It's not that they are not willing to be the best of father. It's not that they don't want to help their children. It's not because they don't want to be the best husband. It's because there are a lot of things. Times are hard, like you rightly said. So what advice do you think? And we see a lot of women, because a lot of us, we have sharp mouth. We have a way of pulling down this men. So what advice do you think you can give to we women for us to build up our husbands?
Well, the first thing you need to understand is you may not be able to do so much about your husband, but the husbands of the future are right there in your hand, in the sense of your boy. What are you doing about them? You can actually script the future. So when I say women complain, men are this, men are that, I'm saying that the men you complain about were the boys that their mothers raped and their fathers as well. And so you have the husbands of the future in your hand. What are you doing with them? My mother put me in the kitchen. So I got into marriage not expecting any woman to cook for me, because my mother said to me that human beings eat, human beings should cook. So I didn't have the mentality of my wife is coming to cook, my wife is going to come in to clean the house. Those were basic things that my mother taught me, and I've led from the front. As I got married, I washed plates every day, I cooked almost every day. So it's not a big deal. So we all need to understand that many of the men that we complain about, they were badly raped. And many of the men were, if a boy was growing up, if a boy fell down, what we said was, keep man up, men don't cry. And so a multitude of those kind of teaching is why a lot of men are not vulnerable. So we need to teach our boys that they're vulnerable. They can be vulnerable, and it's okay. It's human to be vulnerable. But for our husband, they need a lot of support, a lot of encouragement. Many of us are judgmental, and we are accusatory in our communication. We need to become fact-finding, and we need to understand that these men are dying daily to make ends meet and to provide for the family. Yes, there will be mistakes, but we have to have a forgiving heart that's willing to forgive. But we need to provide support. Support is what a lot of these men need. Let them know that they're doing well. Don't just think, oh, it's your responsibility. No. Let them understand that they're doing well. And even when they fall short, encourage them. We say that you need to be a cheerleader when your husband is doing well, and you need to be a nurse when he's doing badly. Don't be that judge who kills a wounded soldier. And that's what we need to understand about our men. And I'm sure if we both support ourselves, we all support ourselves, we'll be able to raise a robust family that can transform our world. And like I said, the family is the key to unlocking the world. If the family becomes well, the world will become well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Presowe. It's nice having you on our program this evening. Well, though I guess I've finished some of the questions that I have for you. But before you will go, let me bring in Temidire before we say final goodbye to you. Though we said we are going to close by 7 o'clock, and that is it. We normally close by 7 o'clock. Temidire, she's offline again. Now let me bring in Mrs. Okoli. Mrs. Okoli.
Yes, I'm here with you.
Yes, we've asked you a lot of questions. We want to ask you again. You are the woman here. And we've heard from Mr. Presowe the advice to women, what they should do. Do you understand? They should be a nurse, they should be a cheerleader, and they should be a nurse when the men are falling, but they should be a cheerleader when the men are winning. We've heard a lot from him. So we want to hear from him, because we have a lot of women who have sharp mouths. And I'm saying all this. I remember there was one time I wrote a poem which I read in a church. It's about a story that was told. You know, they asked all the widows in the church to come outside. I'm sure you must have heard that before too. Anyway, they asked all the widows, pastor asked all the widows to come outside for them to be prayed with. And a woman whose husband is still very much alive also came out. And people were looking, what happened? And they asked, the pastor asked, what happened? She said, because her husband is more of a living corpse. Do you understand? And reason being that he's unable to provide this, is unable to do that. And well, even if the man is unwilling to, and I'm sure some of them are not that they are unwilling. It's just that, like Mr. Preso said, which we all know, times are hard. These people really love to do. That's it's just the time that they find themselves in. So what advice can you give to women for us to do what is best to help these men, for us to build them up? It's not that, because every platform, most of the time I'm always angry. I will not just even comment. The men, women are this, women are that, women are this, women are that. It's only the men are always the bad people. Do you understand? The men are always the bad people on every platform. And that's the truth. The men are always the bad people. So what advice do you think you should give to women too? Because I feel that if a man is beating the woman, it's because, well, then we say that no man should beat a woman. Fine, I understand it. There's no woman, to my own view, should abuse a man. You know, should disrespect a man. You use your mouth to talk bad about a man by pulling him down. And the man, the weapon he has, he's using it on you. You have your mouth as the weapon. So what advice can you give, please?
Okay. Honestly, it's a two-way thing. So as much as the men need to support the women also need to support the men. And I say this because men are like babies. I say that because I know that a lot of times they wear this tough look, you know, just so that you think that all is well. So you have to know who your husband is, identify his strength, identify his weakness, and be able to use his strength to pull him up when you find that the weakness is trying to take over him. And I know that it's not easy, but the truth is you have to deliberately make an attempt to help your husband be the better man that you want him to be. Now, a lot of times, I know that some people go into relationships for a wrong reason. And then once they're in that relationship, it tends to affect their communication, their interaction, their ability to work together as a team, have a synergy between themselves. But in the event that you find yourself in such situation, you have to look beyond the negative and start to think in the positive, and start to derive joy in whatever you are able to do to ensure that you have your home in place, to have your husband in the right mind. Because a lot of things are out there thrown at both men and women. But because men are the head of the homes, they tend to always have this, they tend to be boxed into a situation where sometimes they don't have control, it's out of their control. When you see those tendencies being displayed, you can tell that at that point, the need for your strength needs to come in. And when you identify that, your strength helps the man come back to himself, come back to understand that he can do whatever he needs to do, or he has to do, or he has predestined, or as God has predestined for him to achieve with your help. Because we are a strong pillar and we know it. And I would like to employ the women out there to use their strength to bring their husband into their calling. A lot of times it is the strength of the woman that propels the man to enter into their full calling. So as the woman, help your husband to be the best that you can ever think he will be. So the strength, the grace, the power, the wherewithal is in your hands, woman. You woman out there, as you're hearing me, I'm trusting that the Holy Spirit is also ministering to you, because we have that inner strength. We have that drive, to always, aspire for things that are even beyond our imagination. And with that being said, you can apply that to help your husband to come to that fullness of the call of God upon their lives. We can do it. That's the truth. So stop the bad mouthing. If you've been bad mouthing, stop it. Stop it and begin to speak love. Begin to speak pleasant words. The Bible says a soft answer turns away wrath, but the harsh words comes to bring about destruction. So the earlier we begin to learn to choose our words wisely, to help ourselves identify where our husbands are, or our men are, and help them to come to understand that that position or that place where they are at is not the end of the world. You help them pick themselves up, shake themselves together, and back on their feet. Even if they have to fall 70 times 7 over and over again, you have to be there for them. So that's my appeal to the women out there.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Okoro. Thank you so much. Now let me quickly come to Temidire for her own advice. At least she is a daughter too. So let her advise mothers so that mommy will stop having sharp mouths. So what this true? We know women, we know ourselves. So what advice can you give?
My advice to women out there, to their husband, is that though I'm not married, but
no, you are
I'm
advising we mothers now as a daughter, as a daughter. So what advice can you give to us mothers?
my advice to mothers is that they should support their husbands. They should try to understand them, because, like she said, that men are like babies. That's what she said. They should try to understand them, and they should support them in everything they want to do. And they should always advise them on some things that they want to do. They should not misinterpret them. They should pray for them. I know that some women are sharp-mouthed, and they will just maybe when the husband says, I want to do this project, they will just bring them down or say something so that will not make them continue. But they should not discourage them. They should help them. They should pray for them. They should encourage them. And also, I also want to I'm not giving this advice to mothers alone. I just want to give an advice to fathers too.
Okay.
That they should listen to their wives. Because some men, if they feel because they're the head of the family, they are superior, their ego comes in. So they feel, maybe some men feel some things that the women say is not sensible. But you should listen to your wife. You should think about her advice, and you should know how you go about it to make advice work in what you want to do. That's my advice to mothers and fathers out there.
All right. Thank you so much, Temidire. Thank you so much. We have just 12 more minutes to go. We are unable to connect with Mr. Brown. Is it Mr. Brown? Yes, with Mr. Brown. Then Mr. Newton sent a video, and I don't know if I'll be able to share it now. Mr. Newton sent a video for us to share, because he told us few days ago that he will be unable to make it for this evening program, but he made a video for us to watch. Let me see if there is a way I can share it, and I hope I'm not going to log us out completely. Let me see. What advice would you want to give? Should I share the video, or I should just post this straight on my page on Facebook? What would you like to say, Faith?
If you're able to have access to sharing it live like this,
Okay.
then go ahead. Otherwise, then you can just add it on later.
Let me see if I can share now. I'm trying to just hold on.
Mhm.
Mm. I'm trying. 1 second, please. I am looking for the video.
If you had watched it before now, you could go on your gallery and see if you can put it up from there.
I'm coming. 1 second. Just 1 second, please. Because I really love to honor him. Okay, the video is okay. It's still uploading. It's uploading from here. I don't know why it's uploading. Maybe we should just stop it. It's still uploading.
Yeah, I think because it's video, it will take a little while. Excuse me, for it to come on. Did you watch it before now?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Yeah, so it's almost it's coming up.
You can see it's coming up.
Yes.
Yes.
But it's taking time.
Yeah, it is for sure.
Okay, while he's taking time, while he's talking, what last one word would you like to say? Okay, he's on now.
Thank you very much for inviting me to speak about my experience as a head teacher and a father. For those of you who've not met me before, I'm the head teacher at Byker Primary School. I'm also a father of 2 wonderful daughters. It's an honour and it's a pleasure to have been able to share my thoughts with you today. I'm only sorry that I can't be there live. I'm going to talk about my inspiration for being a good father and hopefully a good head teacher too. I hope that my thoughts might provoke discussion and reflection, and if nothing else, they'll give you an insight into the mind of one head teacher on a Father's Day. For those of you that do not know, my childhood began in the northwest of England in a small town called Sandbach in Cheshire. I'm not originally from Newcastle, but I moved here after years of living in Worcester, London, Ireland, and many other cities. My grandmother on my mother's side was Egyptian, and my granddad was English. I have relatives in various continents around the world. Some I've never even met. Some I have met, and although we didn't speak the same language, we loved the experience and got a lot from that. I was raised by a father who was in the army, in the special forces, and afterwards went on to work on the railway lines, repairing them. My mum worked in a bank, and she was later a wages clerk. They were both just ordinary, yet amazing people. I have a younger brother too. I had the most fantastic childhood. We didn't have much, but we never seemed to struggle either. My family were very, very close. I remember the feeling of security. I felt safe and I felt protected all the time. I remember kindness and love. They wanted me to do the best that I could at everything I tried, but there was always the reassuring message underneath that if it doesn't work out, if you fail, we'll catch you. You're safe, we'll help you. This security and their love allowed me to grow in confidence. My parents loved each other. My father was kind to my mother. He worked really hard. Both parents told me separately how important the other one was to our family. My parents built each other up to their children, me and my brother. They never put each other down, and if they ever did, I never got to see it. It made me even more secure, made me feel proud. My mum would say things like, "Look how hard your father works for us. We're so lucky." I would thank him sometimes. My father would say, "Your mum helps our family so much. She manages the money that we do have. She makes sure we're all loved and happy. She makes sure we have quality time together." I would see my mother's efforts and the things that she did and was grateful. Unfortunately, in my mid-teens, that changed. My mum was diagnosed with terminal cancer. My father died shortly afterwards. They weren't around when I entered adulthood, but the wonderful start that they gave me helped me to cope. Looking back now, I was so lucky, and I'm still so grateful for their wonderful upbringing and the sacrifices that they made. The wise words they spoke, the kind words, the praise, the honesty, and the fairness they showed me molded me into a fair, kind, honest adult. My observations of my parents as a child showed me how to be a good father. I now have two daughters who are 16 and 14. They tell me they're happy. My eldest daughter told me this week that she had loved her childhood. She said it was great. I'm not sure it's over yet, but I appreciated those words nonetheless. I truly felt like I've been able to replicate my own childhood with my own children, that sense. If anyone ever asked me for advice on fatherhood, I would say the following. I've learned that children learn from what they see. My children learn from how they see me act, how I interact, how I react to situations. I show kindness, they're kind. I'm honest with them. They hear me talk about honesty. They're honest with people. They tell me the problems. They communicate freely with me. They know that I accept mistakes. We all make them. It's how we learn. They see me treat their mother kindly, with love and respect. They'll look for these qualities in their own partners in future. It's what they will remember. They see me value our family and the time we spend together. They know that I love them because I tell them every day. They'll go on to love others, and they'll find people who love them. They'll tell others of their feelings, and they'll see the rewards and happiness it brings to others too. As my daughters have grown older, I can see that they feel strongly about injustice and unfairness. These are important personal qualities that their mother and I hold dearly. We often talk about these things. Unsurprisingly, our children have strong opinions on fairness and equality too. You're hopefully seeing a pattern here. This brings me nicely onto being head teacher. Wow, what a responsibility. Having two children of my own keeps me busy enough. As head teacher at Byker Primary, I have responsibility for over 490 children. Each and every child at school receives the same ambitions and hopes as my own children do. I want the best for them. I want them to learn, I want them to succeed, and I want them to be happy and be kind. Obviously, I don't directly see every child every day. My days are often spent planning things for them, making sure that they get the best that I can provide, working hard as my father did for me. I do my best to speak with them, though, to listen to them, to smile with them and advise them. I spend as much quality time as I can with them. Every second counts. I model the same qualities that I do with my own children, with my pupils. I expect the same qualities from my teachers and staff too. It's vital we all hold the same ideals. We're all modelling the behaviours we want to see from our pupils. I'm proud to say that the children in school tell me they feel safe and secure, they feel listened to, they have respect for each other. And I see that they show so much kindness towards each other. Do some of them make mistakes? Of course they do. We all do. The main thing is that we show compassion, that we listen, we talk to them. We model the behaviours we want to see from them. We do this so that they'll remember, so that they will use the same qualities when they're adults, possibly parents too. I read some research 3 years ago that I'd like to share with fathers today. Children were asked what they liked best about a teacher. What did they want most? The top characteristic was a fairly big distance from all of the runners-up. It's a characteristic that I've mentioned throughout my talk today. I'm sure you can guess what it is. The top answer was kindness. Children wanted to see kindness from their teacher, from their head teacher too, I'm sure. I wonder, would a survey about what children wanted from fathers be any different? I don't imagine so. Would this result be any different today or years ago? I doubt it. In case you wondered what the next few qualities were, they were someone who listens to me, someone who's fun, someone who's helpful and helps me. I hope my words have been helpful to you all in some way on Father's Day. I hope your day today is full of kindness, fun and love. Enjoy each other and best wishes to you all. Take care. Bye-bye.
Wow, thank you so much, Mr. John Newton. Thank you so very much. He actually told us, he said something, I will not be able to attend the program, come live, but I'm going to make a video and send forth, which he did. And I'm sure all our viewers really enjoyed that video. Very wonderful advice. Before we even played in the video, he has been saying, Professor West said something about kindness. Do you understand? Faith Okolie said something about kindness. Temi Diraloyaki said something about kindness. So what is all about? The conclusion of all of it today is being kind, not only to your children, to others outside, so that we can make the world a better place for everyone to live in. And I'm sure, that is what I'm taking home as a person. And on a final note, Mrs. Okolie, what would you like to say? The last one word you would like to say to people so that we can call it a date on today's program?
So this is just, for me, I'm just drawing out the acronyms I had built using the word father. So I wrote out here, F as in friend, A as an anchor, T for teacher, H for helper / hero, E for encourager, R for reliant / role model. So these are the features that I have drawn out to represent fatherhood. So if you are a father, today I want to implore you to be a friend to your children and teach them how to engage you. Be an anchor to your children. Be a teacher. Be the helper, the hero that they're looking up to. Be the encourager, and make sure to be the role model that they can rely on. That will be my cap for the day.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Okolie. I'm trying to process it in my brain. I know the H is hero. I know the R is reliance. So
I
I know.
send it to you.
Thank you so much. So all fathers, I'm sure you've heard what Mrs. Okoli said. Be the hero, you should be reliable, you should be this, you should be that. Thank you so much, Mrs. Okoli. And on a final note, Femidulayaki, what one word would you like to say to fathers outside there?
My word to the fathers out there is that they should keep on making their families happy. They should not stop working. They should not stop doing everything they can to make their family happy and to provide the basic needs of life to their family, such as food, clothing, and shelter. And I pray the Lord will help them to do that, and the Lord will keep them. And I'm also advising the family that they should appreciate the father in the family, and they should make him know his impact in his family, and they should show him that they appreciate everything that he's doing. That's my last word to everyone out there and to all fathers.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I appreciate that prayer. I really appreciate that prayer because times are really hard. These people are willing. They are not bad people as people make them to feel. Like I said, on different platforms, fathers are always the bad people. And I wonder why. If I meant this kilo day, what is it now? Abba, we should at least try everything possible to help them. They are not the bad people as we make people to feel about them. They are good people. I grew up in the midst of the boys, so I understand it. I have a father. Do you understand? So and I'm married, and thank God I even have a son. So everything about me, I don't even have a daughter. Can you imagine? So everything about me has always been the men stuff. So today I'm using this opportunity to say Happy Father's Day to all the men out there. We women, we love you. Don't mind our shakara. Women, they love to do shakaras a lot. But just take us the way we are. But we know we love you. We appreciate you for all the good things you've been doing. To my own dad, my own biological father, I say Happy Father's Day to you, Mr. John Olusola Dimeji. I love you. And to all my brothers, Jide Oladimeji, Tunji Oladimeji, Dele Oladimeji, like this late. I say Happy Father's Day to all of you. I love you all. I love you. And to my husband, why will I take my husband off? Of course, to my husband, to my one and only husband. I can never have two of them. I'm saying Happy Father's Day to you. And I'm using this opportunity or this medium to say that I love you so much for all you've been doing. Thank you and God bless you. And to all the fathers out there, I'm saying your oil of headship will never run dry in Jesus' name. Congratulations and Happy Father's Day. And this is where we'll be calling it a date on this evening's program. I say a big thank you to Mrs. Faith Okoli, my childhood friend. I say a big thank you. Now I will tell you who Temidire is. I'm saying Temidire Faith, myself, and your mom, we are in the same secondary school. So Faith, you understand who Temidire is now. Yes, we are all in the same secondary school. So Temidire happens to be, well, she's not my biological daughter, but she's like a daughter to me because my childhood friend, my classmates in secondary school, gave birth to Temidire. So Temidire is my daughter. So nice having you around, Temidire. Thank you for honoring us. Thank you. We appreciate you. And to all fathers there, we say thank you. Till we meet again on this program, I remain my humble self and loyal friend, Oluwatosin Oladimeji Ladipo. Till then, stay by and bye. 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 Bye.